has a strong influence in his house, each person in it, even the very little one, feels also that he is of some value and importance. All of them can feel deep inside, without having to think about it, I am what I am, and I find it good, because my father finds it good. The man who understands trees or children can be firm, but he can also be patient and gentle. When a young child is old enough to dig holes, it is useless for a father to get angry and say, don't dig. He would not say to a tree, don't grow. A wise parent understands that playing is part of the growing of a child, part of the business of learning how to be a man. Young trees and young children will need careful attention for a long time. A wise man never plants more trees than he can care for. Fewer trees, well spaced, properly cultivated, will grow better than many trees planted too close together. It is a foolish man who brags, look how many trees I have planted, forgetting that he may not be able to care for them properly, forgetting how much water young trees need. The care of boys and girls continues even when they are almost fully grown. It is a different kind of care when the child is older, a kind of care that can help a girl like Petra in her effort to think and feel and act by herself, more grown up. One way young children learn to be grown up is by imitating, in their play, the things grown-ups do. The older ones learn in the same way. But what they do is not so much imitating, not so much play. It comes very close to living the way grown-ups do. At this age, boys often feel that they have to show that they are really men already, proving to themselves, to the girls, and to other boys that they have already come to manhood. For the girls, too, this is a time of testing, of proving. Every teenage girl likes to flirt because it makes her feel more of a woman. Sometimes this proving of manhood is, for the boy, merely showing off with false words of flattery. A girl can flirt but still know the boy is not saying true things. She does not have to go with just any man who wants her. She can know when it is time to say, you are not yet a man, my friend. You only think you are. But not everyone can be so lucky as to understand these things. If there is no happiness in the home, if there is too little love and understanding and respect, then a young girl or a young man may leap impulsively into marriage with anyone, desiring only to escape the misery of the parents' home, to grasp for pleasure, to feel important. Such a marriage, born out of desperation, made without thought, can doom the young man and woman to a life of unhappiness. A tree cannot have deep roots in a hard, unfriendly soil. A child cannot have healthy roots in a house full of anger. Sometimes children retreat from anger into themselves, into a blind, hopeless apathy. Such a child cannot flourish. Sometimes children can build a refuge of warmth and love for themselves that will protect them from the anger in such a house. But a child must do something to escape anger. He cannot live with it. It hurts too much. And sometimes he will defend himself from anger with more anger, with defiance. For some men, turning an angry face to the world is a way of feeling important. Neither for his son nor for himself can such a one be a true man. There has not always been anger and hatred in this house. The constant disappointments come because each expects from the other more than he or she can give. Too many children, too much fighting, too much anger have made of this woman a nagging, bitter wife, and of the husband a selfish bully. This is not just one of the little squabbles of everyday married life. This twisted, crooked kind of anger is bad for a man, bad for a woman, bad for children. And the children in such a home may try to escape the anger, perhaps before they are old enough, by doing just what their parents did, marrying in haste, without thought, without understanding, without love.
Can't believe you're turning into a React tuber for real. I have always been a React tuber. Everyone is a React tuber because you are reacting to something that's happening. When I'm playing Date Everything, I am reacting to the video game, doing prompts. Sorry, let me rephrase. When I'm playing a video game, I am reacting to the video game reacting to my control and inputs. And it's a sort of like constant process. Hello, old man. Hello. Excuse me. I'm 60 years old, by the way. I think I don't care anymore. I forgot when this has happened, but like I think probably like a week or two ago, I realized I don't care, in the sense that like I will cough on stream and I'm not gonna mute myself anymore. I'm not bothered. I'm just gonna I should probably start carrying again. I probably should. I feel like it's a bad image. I feel like it's an unprofessional image. So, I just muted myself for another cough. I don't know why I'm coughing. I think I had something spicy, I think, just now, so maybe that's why I'm coughing, but I don't know. Anyways, what else are you saying? Can't believe Michael's the originator for chairman. I've talked about it. I've talked about how Michael Vsauce Stevens is like one of the defining reasons why I decided to pursue a philosophy degree. It's Michael Vsauce Stevens. It's the Stanley Parable. It is just generally my distaste for authority figures saying I can't do something because of X, Y, and Z, and me disagreeing with those reasons. It's kind of like, it's those three things that have pushed me to do philosophy, I think. So honestly, like, they should have come out like last month, because if it did, it would have been perfect. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with me today. It's a solid foundation of Charis Euphranor past that I didn't really talk about during that Charis Euphranor past week because I had enough shit going on as is. Yeah, I should definitely mute myself when I cough because I'm gonna it's like I'm coughing in HD, or not HD, but like I'm coughing Like when I'm coughing, I'm sitting directly in front of the microphone. You're catching all of this. I mean, coughing is louder than my speaking, so you're gonna hear that more. I do not know what's going on with me today. I think it is the food I had just now that was somewhat spicy. I'm gonna drink some water. It might help. Are you suggesting that all we do is a reaction to a previous action? I was, but now that you've put it that way, I want to amend myself. I actually think that not all people react, because again, this is the whole subjective thing, right? Like subjectivity thing. Like, is your soul there? Like, are you actually reacting to anything, or are you just like, is there any sort of cognition going on when like you're a react tuber and then something happens and you're not really processing what's happening beyond the very simple like, oh, I should laugh here, or oh, I should pog here, oh, I should go no way, oh my god here, when it's a very obvious marker for when you should be doing that, right? It's kind of almost like you know how canned laughter is not real. I think some react tubers are not real because they're kind of like just like slightly more, they're just a slightly more manual version of canned laughter. So what I'm trying to say is, actually, not only have I always been a react tuber, I perhaps may be one of the few who are actually reacting to the things in front of me as a react tuber. In essence, I'm actually the first and last philosopher VTuber and the first and last react VTuber. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how if you just do like a very, very small, minute amount of philosophy that doesn't really amount to much actual understanding and mastery of the field, you can just bullshit your way through anything. Michael is a much more charismatic and fun chairman. That's true. That's true. I'm not gonna disagree. I won't disagree. Like, that's completely true. Unironically, I love like Michael Stevens, and I look up to him as one of the most important and influential figures in my life. He may not be the most like important and influential figure in history or in time or whatever, but I know he has touched my soul. He has touched my soul in a way that very few people have. It's him. It's this guy. But you're not the first and you're not the last, because there are many more before and after you. Okay, many more before me is debatable, because I said, you know, are they really reacting to what's in front of them? Like, are they really truly bearing their soul into the future, into the world as is? Or are they hiding away from it and trying to, you know, or are they playing into something? Are they playing into an expectation that some people may have where, oh, this guy should react in this way to this content because I like this content, and like, you know, they're just playing it safe by reacting to whatever they are reacting to in a relatively positive manner. If we can just establish that all the React VTubers before me were fake, in that sense, then I can be the first. And all I have to do is outlast everyone else that comes after me. I'm 60 years old, but I've got a life ahead of me. Anyways, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. That's 10 minutes of that's 10 minutes of rambling that didn't need to exist. We are watching a Vsauce video today. It's a collective thing, because I'm gonna just like stream it. I'm gonna show it, and I think Michael Vsauce Stevens will not copy strike me. I think, but that's what we're doing. We're just gonna watch the video, and I'm gonna talk about him for like an hour or a few hours. And then also maybe also react to some of his other videos. We'll see how I feel like later. But A Vsauce video is a special occasion for me. It's kind of like a Let Me Know video. So people react to Let Me Know videos all the time. That's like common content, okay? It's super easy to do, and people do it all the time on streams. I should be doing that more. Not because it's easy content, because it is, but because I think, not that I have anything to say about it that's interesting maybe, but like I think that relative to a lot of lazy or Twitch streamers who just react to content from Let Me Know and from Vsauce and from some other channels, whatever I'm reacting to, if I decide to react to it, it's probably because I'm a big fan. It's probably not because like someone in chat went, you should react to this, you should react to this, and they saw it and it's a 30-minute video, so they don't have to, they don't have to do anything. They just have to sit there and stare at it, and they're like, okay, that's easy content, might as well. I'm reacting to something because I love it. Like, because here's the thing. I'm not being paid for this shit. Nobody's paying me. Nobody, like, I'm not being paid to do this at all. In fact, if anything, I am paying because I need to, I need to pay my electricity bills. Whenever I turn my PC on and go live on OBS, like, I'm not being paid anything, jack shit from YouTube and Google, because I don't even have 1,000 subs yet. I don't even qualify for ad revenue. Whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm not doing this to fulfill like a schedule or to fulfill like a time slot. If anything, I would much prefer just doing most things by myself, alone, away from prying eyes. But I love this so much that I have to talk about it on stream, so you know how important and good my favorite thing is. That's why. And I wouldn't be reacting to something. I wouldn't be reacting to anything that is good reaction content, for example. I would only really be reacting to stuff that I love, truly. And that one of those things is Vsauce videos. Okay, it's been like almost 20 minutes. I should probably get into what the fuck Vsauce is for people who are too young for this, because I understand, current generation of youth may not be familiar with the great and almighty Michael Vsauce Stevens, creator of the Vsauce 1 channel, of course. And I say Vsauce 1 because there's a 2 and 3. Also the man behind the Dong channel, Do Online Now guys. You guys don't remember that, it's a bit beyond your time. So, oh yeah, and also in ancient history almost, because it's almost been like I looked it up the other day. It's like 8 years ago. It's crazy. But that was like when he did the YouTube Red series. He did a YouTube Red series called Minefield. He did 3 seasons of it. It's like one of the greatest things ever to be released on YouTube. I really mean that. Like, I can't think of much higher quality content on YouTube. And like, I can't think of a better reason to subscribe to, at the time, what it was like YouTube Red, this premium YouTube Premium, but like, before it was called Premium, right? I can't think of a better reason to do that, right? And on top of that, years after, a few years after he did all 3 seasons, Michael Vsauce Stevens just went like, okay, I'm gonna make it all free now, forever. And then, he just removed the paywall behind the videos, which, by the way, I didn't pay for YouTube Red. No, the fuck I didn't. I pirated that shit online. I went on a streaming site or something, or I downloaded it on my laptop and I watched it there. But he just said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna let everyone have this for free now. And that's what he did. That's what he did. That's my fucking goat. That's my goat right there. YouTube Red doesn't exist anymore, right? It's just YouTube Premium? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain. I don't know what else happened to the other YouTube Red shows, but none of them were really like that. Like, I could have done without the other shows, The other shows were cool. Like, I think... Wasn't there one where it was, like, called Scare PewDiePie? Or did that get kind of, like, removed? Cancelled because of the whole thing? Because of that whole thing? I don't remember. But what I do remember is that out of all the things on YouTube, read in their YouTube original like things, this was the only thing worth paying attention to, or this was the only thing that was like, okay, this is a reason now to buy this product. And you know what? If I had money at the time, I might have considered it, but I didn't, so I pirated it. Watching Pat break it down, let's go. He is over there, isn't he? He is, yeah. Remember there was one that was like a murder mystery with all the YouTubers and MatPat was in it? Survive the Night? Is that what it is? Maybe. Maybe there was... I'm sure there were other shows on YouTube Red that were like, you know, probably fairly entertaining, right? But it was the type of thing that I kind of went like, oh, that's novel and kind of cool, and that's it, right? But Mindfield truly felt like this is something so good that it's so worth coming back to. Like, I'm gonna constantly be thinking about what's gone on in the show. Till this day, I still think about like when he went through the went into the forest or something and then did ayahuasca. That episode was fucking... That whole episode was just him doing drugs. It was great. It was fucking great. I think one of the first episodes he did was like the trolley problem as well. I don't remember which one it was, which season it was, but anyways, it's like he did 3 seasons and they're all really, really, really good. And I wish we could get more Mindfield. I really wish, but you know, I'm happy that, you know, Michael decided probably that he wanted to do his own thing or something else, and that's what he decided to do and pursue. And since then, we've not gotten a lot of Vsauce Michael Stevens, you know? We haven't. It's a shame, because Vsauce is my favorite thing growing up, and I think his videos used to be, you know, less effort, not effort, but yeah, I get effort. It is, yeah. His videos used to just be like, hey, here's 10 cool fun facts I learned. I'm gonna share them with you. And then over time, because of how much more how many more pairs of eyes were put on him, you know, how much higher the expectations were. I think Michael felt a lot of pressure to make phenomenal, like highly edited, super high budget like videos, not just about like, you know, here's some fun facts, but like truly exploring like concepts or ideas in a way that's super comprehensive. And like, you know, I love that. I prefer that, I think. But a drawback is now we see less and less Michael Vsauce Stevens. And in this world in this digital age of you want to see this thing longer, you don't really care about the quality of it, as evidenced by the fact that VTubers exist. And VTubers are not known for high quality content generally. I'm saying this not like, I'm not saying I'm an exception, by the way. This is literally a stream where I'm just reacting to a video. So I'm not saying I'm an exception, but I will say, okay, we have now drifted far away from like high quality shit into just general like everyday entertainment comforts. Is there anything wrong with that? Maybe, but that's not the subject of this stream. Escape the Night, that's it. He was in it too, and Matthew Santoro. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. When I could tell, we grew up around the same time, so I also remember these things. Well, that couldn't be, because I'm 60 years old. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we're gonna watch the video now. I haven't pulled it up yet, so give me one moment. Michael Stevens Vsauce. Can I just go on my like no, that would be a bad idea. Who's live right now? Randon the Orc, Nix Voltaire. Interesting. What is Nix Voltaire up to?
Now I'm scared. Tap notifications, 2 likes. An obvious crypto bot and a non-entirely real looking lady named Joanna Legs.
Oh, he's reading fanfic. Okay. I should do that. That sounds like easy content. Vsauce. All the ghosts you will be. What the fuck? Is that a new YouTube interface again? Who asked for a new interface? Whatever. Fucking whatever. Since we're on the topic, what happened to 2 and 3? I don't really see them now. They quit. They retired. Jake was Vsauce 3. I forgot who Vsauce 2 was. I'm so sorry. I don't remember who Vsauce 2 was. Vsauce 2. But they both kind of just stopped doing stuff. Kevin, yeah. Kevin and Jake, yeah. Vsauce 2, hosted by Kevin Lieber, has covered topics concerning unusual knowledge, gadgets, and people. Since 2019, Vsauce 2 has largely produced videos regarding probability, paradoxes, and dilemmas, most of which are mathematical or economic in nature and visualized through real-world situations. Okay. The Create Unknown. In November 2018, Lieber and channel producer Matt Tabor launched the Create Unknown podcast, which interviews digital creators, featured interviews with Casey Neistat, Derek Muller, and... Yep. Vsauce 3 is hosted by Jake Roper, dedicated to fictional worlds and video games. There are currently 4 recurring segments: Headshot, Game Loot, 9-Bit, and Fact Surgery. He's collabed with... Okay, does he... But they stopped, right? They've stopped... Oh yeah, also Dong used to be called Dong, but now it's Ding. Because Dong used to stand for Do Online Now, guys, and then it was probably like advertiser unfriendly, so they had to rename it. What happened to them? It's not on the Wikipedia. Man. Ugh. I can't find it. Whatever. But they why can't I find the video? What the hell? I fucking closed it. I like an idiot. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me open it up again. They just stopped doing stuff. From what I understand. No! Hold on. That's sacred. That's sacred. Oh, now I loaded it up again and now the new thing is gone. Why is YouTube always like this, man? YouTube is always like this. Hello, Edful Sneeze. Hello. You're back. You were surgery prepping. Oh, cool. Hope that goes well. You're not dead? That's good to hear. Imagine you become the new Vsauce. I did think about that. When I was like... You know, back then, right? I did think, like, what if I like wrote an email to Michael Stevens and was like, hey, can I be Vsauce 4? But then I thought, like, what the fuck would I be? What would I be doing as Vsauce 4? I wouldn't be able to contribute nearly the same amount of quality of content. And, like, it wouldn't be different enough to differentiate. And I feel like, you know, the Vsauce branding doesn't need me on it. I just don't think it makes sense. I'm a little too, I'm like, cause they're very, like, inoffensive. I think Vsauce is generally relatively inoffensive and very, like, just, I don't want to say purely educational, as if there was like an impure, like but they were very neutrally educative. And I think I'm not neutrally educative. I think I educate, but I do have, like, a goal. And I do not shy away from things that are controversial or that may not be conducive to just standard science communication, right? Is it like game theory and just a bunch of different channels? No, it's not like game theory. It is, actually, you can think of it that way. It's kind of, yeah. You can think of it as like, you know, it started with one channel and then they kind of wanted to create a branch of a network of different channels that were similar but not exactly the same. Yeah, sure. It's a bit like that. Unsub to Vsauce, I thought you were a fan. I'm on like a private thing. I don't know why I'm on a private browser, because that way it'd be easier. Basically, the tackle questions like his coffee soup. That, okay. Get ready. Okay? I'm about to blow your mind. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There. 10 years ago. Is cereal soup.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Take a look at this. Simple enough, right? But watch what happens next. Okay, what the heck is this thing?
They did that. They did literally that. So you, judging from your reaction to that information, it seems as though you are not familiar with Vsauce. In which case, might I recommend the entire channel? Actually, the whole channel. You can probably start watching from, like, I don't know, actually. You could probably start watching a bit after, you know, the meme stuff. Oh, You Live in the Past is pretty, like, was pretty good too. What is consciousness? Ooh. Deja vu, Shepherd Tone Illusion. Like the facts video. Yeah, like I think you can probably start watching and expect the typical quality and format that characterizes a Michael Vsauce Stevens video since he stopped doing loot, maybe. What color is a mirror, maybe? We're all they're all like good. They're all good. Is your red the same as my red? Is pretty good. My favorite one though is this one. Oh yeah, this one is Dord is one of my favorite things as well that he's done. My absolute favorite is probably, if we exclude the Minefield series overall, because that's just phenomenal, right? The Future of Reasoning. That's my favorite video from Vsauce. And they came out 4 years ago, so it's like modern Vsauce. Because prime Vsauce, or like Vsauce, as we all know, probably was like the Vsauce from 10 years ago. That is my favorite bit. Is this video from 4 years ago. And judging by the fact that you're saying you've not watched Vsauce before, you have like a whole back catalog to go through. Fuck watching VTubers, okay? Stop watching VTubers. Stop watching anime characters talking through an avatar, pretending like they're entertaining. Stop that. Just watch Michael Vsauce Stevens, please. Vsauce is so peak. Yep, he is. That naked human in space video used to scare me. I think the one that was memorable to me was the one that was like, what would happen if everyone in the world jumped? Oh yeah, he did one. It really wouldn't do much, right? Like, it was kind of it would be underwhelming if that happened, I think was the conclusion. I forget where it was. Is it the 5-second rule? How much a shadow weighs? Oh, I don't remember. So it's really old stuff is not as interesting. Here you get to like, this is like 15 years ago YouTube. And it's like, you don't have to watch this. You don't have to watch like what he was doing like 15 years ago. Because I think when what happened with old Vsauce, in my opinion, right? Old Vsauce prior to like, you know, maybe like, because he was trying to find like best images of the week. He was looking for like his format. He was looking for a style, and I think he really nailed that style with stuff like How Old Can We Get, Why Do We Dream, The Illusions video, How Much Does the Internet Weigh? That's like a class. Yeah, these are all kind of classics. What is Deja Vu is a classic as well. Like, he found his format through there, and since then he stopped doing the other, like, you know, random almost 10 years ago internet culture of weekly shows, and just started doing inquisitive, like, deep dives into certain topics and ideas. That's peak Vsauce. That's peak Vsauce. Everything prior to that is like, it's funny to look back on, but it's not good. Anyways, enough glazing him for now. We'll do that more later. For now, I'm gonna share with you the newest Vsauce video, All the Ghosts You Will Be. I don't know what it's about. I can't imagine what it would be about. The last Vsauce video was like, it was selfie waves from 2 years ago. And before that, 3 years ago, Did People Used to Look Older? I love Did People Used to Look Older. I watched Did People Used to Look Older, like, and since then, I could never look at old media the same way again. And it's fucked me up because it's like, what if, like, cause I'm, you know, I'm 60 years old, but I look kind of young, right? What if I took a photo of myself now, or like a video? Because, and there, you know, that will be in, like, I imagine in great supply and much more accessible. And eventually down the line, maybe 30, 40 years later, when the youth of today wear different clothes and they have different styles, like, are they going to look at an image of me in my younger days and think, wow, this guy looks old? Like, I was old, but I don't look old yet. You know, I am 60 years old, but I don't look the part, which is why I have to constantly stress that I'm 60 years old. You got to watch the Space Human video if you get the chance. I think I've already watched it. If you're talking to Sneeze, though, yes, you should watch it. Anyways, the last thing was 2 years ago. I wait for Vsauce videos. Like, it's every time a Vsauce video shows up, I go to all of my group chats and I paste the link, and then I at everyone and I go, there's a new Vsauce video, there's a new Vsauce video, there's a new Vsauce video, there's a new Vsauce video. And then, like, I do like I host like a watch party with like all of my friends who use the internet. Because this is like a colossal event to me. Oh, you have to go already? All right, well, see you. Have fun doing whatever it is you are doing, and we will watch the Vsauce video. But yeah, like, that's, I want to preface this by saying, like, Vsauce videos are a big fucking deal to me in my life, okay? All right, let's begin.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. A single piece of refined flour is, on average, just 82.67 microns wide. That means a 5-pound bag of flour contains about 2.7 billion individual specks of flour dust. Now, if each of those particles were a person, 3 bags specks of flour, bag of flour
at 2.27 kg
contains about 2.7 billion.
Okay, it's 2.7 billion. I thought it was. I thought it'd be 1 to 1. Like 1 kg would be like 1 billion specks of dust. That'd be pretty interesting.
Now, if each of those particles were a person...
I think I saw this on TikTok. I need you to, like... Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not... I'm just gonna watch the video. I'm just gonna watch the video.
3 bags could represent every single human alive on Earth today. 8.1 billion itty-bitty things. Are you under 30 years old?
No, I'm 60.
It's a question that could roughly divide everyone alive today in half. The yeses and the nos. But can you imagine a second question that could then divide both of those groups in half? Well, if so, and if you kept doing that...
Okay, I want you to put your phone away if you are on it. I need you to put all your distractions away. I need you to pay attention, or I will confiscate it. Okay, we're in full, like, we're in full classroom mode, okay? I will confiscate your device if you are distracted right now when we're watching this, okay? You will be banned if you do not pay attention right now.
After just 33 questions, you would be left with more than 8 billion groups, each containing just one person.
It was on the Vsauce TikTok page. You shouldn't be on TikTok in the first place, but okay. Will this be on the test? No, but you have to pretend like it is.
We could pinpoint a specific individual. For example, you, with just 33 yes or no questions. What would those questions be? Do they even exist? We don't know. But we do know that every year, about this many people die.
Tell me if the volume is
a little
okay.
Bit more
It should be
than
okay,
a quarter
though.
cup. But about twice as many as that are born. But how many people have ever been born?
Oh.
117 billion.
Yeah, I couldn't have
But out of
guessed
all
that.
of
Never
these
mind.
people, out of everyone who has ever existed, this is how many you will ever meet. You are a stranger to your own species. This is a video about how you will be forgotten. It's about the ghosts
fuck.
that surround us and how they're getting closer. Our journey begins 2,500 kilometers above the surface of the sun. There, a hot layer of ionized gas begins its reach millions of kilometers out into space. It's called the solar corona.
You wanna watch this
And
on stream?
normally,
I am watching
it's
this on stream, yeah.
outshone by the rest of the
If I
sun
get
because
copy-
it gives off just
If I get copy striked by Vsauce Stevens, I don't care. He can do that anytime he wants.
1/1,000,000th as much light. But during an eclipse, it can be seen.
I don't think he would,
When
though.
you are eclipsed, your own sort of corona will remain as well. The memories people have of you, your treasure and junk, emails and texts you sent, the fact that your child has a nose like yours, every appearance you made in the background of a stranger's photo, those are all traces of you that shine while you're alive, but can also continue long after you're gone. Douglas Hofstadter called them your solar corona. I love that phrase because it makes
Solar
a cosmological phenomenon personal by literally including you. How long will you be here? Well, that's why
I don't know,
made
like
this
30 years.
clock. It tells the time.
Yes, I know.
but
I
it's
saw
also-
this. I saw this. He promoted this on his socials. This is a clock that where you enter your information. In which case, for example, you put in how old you are and whatever, and then it will count down and like how other factors such as I think like what your physical health conditions are or whatnot. Like some of it, not a lot. Because it's just an estimate, but the clock is like a countdown to your death. Basically, it's like a countdown to. It's an estimate of how much time you have left before you naturally wither away and die, and then the clock just counts down from it.
Also tells your
Forever.
time. Just answer a few questions, and then, when it's ready,
Yeah.
push the red button, and the clock will begin counting down the seconds you have left to live, approximately. Now,
Approximately.
whenever you want, you can switch it to show the time, but that's not nearly as fun. Also, this clock never forgets. If you take away its power, it'll go dark, but it's still thinking about you. Next time you plug it in, it will pick right back up where it should be. Now, if you would like a practical, retro memento mori, you can pre-order one of these now. Omnis vulnerant ultima necat is Latin, and it refers to these passing seconds. It means each of these wounds, the last kills. Mox nox means soon it will be night. And it will. But while this is ticking down, something else is ticking up. The number of ghosts in the world.
I
Your
suppose so,
nominal
yeah, that makes
ghost
sense.
Is your name. It's out there representing
Charis
you
Euphranor,
whether
yeah.
you're there or not. It won't haunt the world forever though. As we've often been reminded, you die twice. Once when your heart stops beating, and then again, usually sometime later, when your name is spoken for the last time. But
That I'm
whose
familiar
name's
with.
been remembered the longest?
Probably Jesus Christ.
Well, signed here on this 5,000-year-old tablet is the oldest written name we've ever found. Kushum. The
Okay, never
first
mind.
named character we know in the written
I
history.
thought it was like proportionate, like not written remembered, but like remembered by people like in their minds. But never mind.
of humanity.
He's young. Yeah, I mean like in the sense that like, but you have to. But since like 2,000 years ago, there's been so many more people, right? than prior, because, you know, the population hasn't just increased. And since then, so many of us have heard that name that I thought that was where the question was going.
Probably. It's not entirely clear whether Kushum is the name of a person or just the title of an office holder. You know, if we want to be really sure, a generation or two later, this tablet was made.
Okay.
It contains 3 names, Gal Sol, and 2 people he
Better Gal
enslaved
Sol.
in Pop X, and a woman named Sukaljar. These individuals are the reigning champs of avoiding the second death. And with archival practices and technologies being what they are today, your name could conceivably last just as long as these have already.
Probably, yeah.
But you know, I gotta say, if you want your ghosts to last longer, it helps to bend the truth a little bit. Toby Jukanov built this interactive globe that shows the most famous person born in every location.
Oh, shit.
Fame is based on Wikipedia data. How
Okay.
long their article is, how many languages it's in, how many visits it gets per day, stuff like that. By the way, out of everyone alive right now, about this many of us, almost exactly a quarter teaspoon, are mentioned on Wikipedia. Now
Oh.
let's zoom in on Stillwell, Kansas. Ooh, hey there, good looking. But here's the thing. I wasn't born in Stillwell.
Is alive?
I
Probably,
grew up
yes.
there. I lived there from ages 5
But he was,
to 18.
wasn't he born in Texas?
But I was born in Kansas City.
Oh,
For a
yeah.
while, a lot of things online said that I was born in Stillwell, so that's probably how I wound up here. But should I correct it? What's more important, the truth or a little lie that prolongs and
Can you put
enhances my
CC on,
nominal
please?
ghost?
I can.
Maybe the truth. Because even if my name is forgotten, images of me may stick around. And that is your second ghost. Your likeness. Figurative portrayals of what you look like. Now, we have no idea what most people who have lived looked like. Long ago, no records were made. Eventually, some were and have survived. So, who's the earliest known person where, like, we know what they looked like? Well, it's probably Gudea. He was
Who's
an
that?
ancient Sumerian ruler, and 27 4,000-year-old statues of him have been found in southern Iraq. They stand out not just for their craftsmanship, but also for the fact that earlier depictions of human forms are either more abstract or generalized. But because these depictions of Gudea are more realistic, are so similar to each other, and have been found spread so widely, it's tenable that they're similar to the actual face of the actual individual as he appeared in life.
That makes sense,
The
yeah.
first known illustrated person in our history. Even if your figural ghosts don't stick around as long as Gudea's have, things that look kind of like you might. I'm talking about your genetic ghost, your personal genomic variation that can be carried on by your descendants. Now, interestingly,
Okay.
even if your progeny are especially fecund, your genetic
Fecund.
ghost probably won't stick around that long. Just how much of your unique genetic code winds up in your grandkids, for example, depends
what about my
partly on
grandkids?
chance. It could be anywhere from 23 to 27%. Your great-grandkids will only contain 9 to 14% of you.
But there's always,
Your great-
like, it will tend to 0, but it would never be 0, though, right?
Great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will on average be no more similar to you than you are to any stranger.
Oh, fuck.
In fact, it is at that distance that it becomes possible to be genetically left behind, for absolutely no personal chunks of your genome to be present in anyone.
Oh.
More than 70% of your ancestors from 11 generations ago aren't in you at all. So you're not so much the genetic foundation on which your progeny sit as you are their baby teeth, a thing that served a purpose but was destined to then fall out
Oh,
and be set
oh,
aside.
shit. Okay.
Where should you be buried if you want to become a fossil?
If you want to be a fossil, probably the I don't know. The desert, maybe? I don't know. Where would you?
Fossils last a long time. Your legacy could be representing our species in a cool bony pose in a museum millions of years from now. Well, as it turns out, fossilization, the mineralizing of bones into
Oh, probably
rocky
in the
ghosts,
sea, right?
is an
Then-
exceedingly rare occurrence. Bill Bryson puts it this way:
Oh.
less than 1/10 of 1% of a species is ever lucky enough to become fossilized, which means that millions of years from now, all that will be left of every single person alive today in the US will probably just be about 60 fossilized bones, not even one full human skeleton.
Oh.
The best way to improve your chances of becoming a fossil are to be buried rapidly and deeply with no coffin under the seafloor of a still mass of water at low elevation where sediment deposits will be swift and fine and oxygen levels low. Some locations that fit this bill are parts of the Black Sea, the Gulf of Mexico where the Mississippi disgorges, and the mangrove swamps along the northern coast of Australia. But even then, there's risk, right? Earth is an active churning rock, and erosion can wear you away. Metamorphic activity could melt you back down. So if you want to be a trace for a long time, leave. The oldest unchanged piece of Earth wasn't even found on Earth. It was found on the moon, where geological activity is less brutal. A monolith engraved with your name and biography buried on the moon would be a good idea. Except in, 5 to 10 billion years, our sun will expand into a red giant, engulfing the Earth and moon, likely destroying them forever. So a copper disc coated in aluminum and gold floating through space would be even better.
We've made those. We've done that, right? We've sent this shit, and then like in the record is like a blueprint of like our species, and then some art, I think, that's on it, and then it's like the something piece or whatever. Like I don't remember actually. But we have sent like the discs out to space, or is it a radio wave? I'm not sure.
Aboard the Voyager spacecraft could exist for trillions of years. They could conceivably still be legible even after the last star goes dim. But your final type of ghost will be there too. It's what I call your ripple ghost, the diffused domino effect of all of your actions. There will be people, for example, a century from now, who could enjoy the shade of a tree you planted without ever wondering who put it there.
Yeah,
the
it will
butterfly effect effectively guarantees us all a sort of anonymous, minute immortality. Just by being born, technically, you changed the universe irrevocably. The tiny and subtle but very real way your mass affects the planet Saturn right now will contribute in some extremely small way to exactly how and when its rings collapse. When the universe enters its heat death and it's the same temperature everywhere, the arrangement of matter in the universe will be the way it is because you existed. There will be no minds to observe it, so you won't be remembered, but you won't be annihilated. But so what? Oh, I've got ghosts that stick around. Newsflash, buddy, I'm not my ghosts. Okay, first of all, yeah, that's exactly why talk of fame and legacy gets so fizzly. For what? I won't be around to enjoy it, and eventually no one will be. But secondly, that's actually a pretty good definition of the self. You are everything you take with you when you die.
Hold on, I gotta
Your
lock in.
secrets.
I gotta lock in for this. Hold on. I have to lock in for this.
Gets so fizzly. For what? I won't be around to enjoy it, and eventually no one will be. But secondly, that's actually a pretty good definition of the self. You are everything you take with you when you die. Your secrets, the things you could have done or said but never did. That's what you are.
Well, that
now,
comprises
you
what
try
we
to do
are.
as much as you can and leave as much on the table as possible.
And that's also who we are.
But life is short. Too short? Well, Derek Parfit has pointed out that the brevity of life probably has nothing to do with its meaning.
Yeah.
If your life was
that's a
twice as
Parfit
long,
line, yeah.
would it have twice as much meaning? If we were all immortal, would the meaning of life suddenly be...
The finitude of your life is the meaning. It is what gives it some semblance of meaning, isn't it?
obvious? No. Meaning is separate from the sheer participation we crave. We just want to keep playing this game. And there's never been more game to play. Staggering amounts of what we want to experience have been tamed into beasts, so lightweight and so fast that, like ghosts, they can pass through walls. The soy bomb only lasted 36 seconds, but because a digital ghost of it lingers in Earth's largest haunted house, an average of 40 people have seen it every day for the last 30 years. Old music started outselling new music for the first time in 2015. Today, we each spend an average of 7 hours and 3 minutes a day in a haunted house full of avatars and messages from the living and dead alike. People and ideas and art in the past have become not just accessible, but accessible. We are on these ghost portals so much, it's become pretty much the only way anyone finds companionship anymore. For crying out loud, more people on this planet
No. No, 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 no. Fuck. Shit. Leave me alone. Charis Euphranor, have you installed a dating app? No, leave me alone.
own cell phones than toothbrushes. Documentality is the word Maurizio Ferraris gave to his ontology of traces, but it's also a great word for the extent to which day-to-day life in a society happens as documentation. In a society of high documentality, nearly every transaction, click, step, every memory, everything said or done is vulnerable to recording or simply comes into the world already pre-remembered.
Vulnerable to recording is a really interesting turn of phrase. I never really put those words together in that way, but now that he has, I feel a little differently about the widespread documentation in the information age. That's okay.
Not as an ephemeral oral exchange or a haphazard note, but as a high-fidelity, time-stamped, cataloged artifact. In such a world, it shouldn't be surprising if it starts to feel like there are more things you've said than things you could say, more ways things have been than ways things could be. The future isn't what it used to be. But don't get it twisted. Complete documentality is far from here.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned before, our estimates of the current human population have about a 2 to 3% margin of error. That means that about this many people may or may not exist. And at any given moment in the US alone, there are about 40,000 deceased bodies whose identities are unknown. When Steve Fawcett failed to return to the Flying M Ranch in 2007, search and rescue efforts sent to find him discovered 8 previously unidentified airplane crashes that weren't him, but had been out there for, in some cases, decades. And when authorities searched for Gabby Petito, they found her and the bodies of at least 8 other people they weren't even looking for. We are not a documented species. We are a bunch of animals walking in and out of rooms. That said, something's changed. The last time a body was interred in the tomb of the unknown soldier was after the Vietnam War, but it was removed in 1998 after DNA testing connected it to a name, Michael Joseph Blassie. In 2014, prosecutors didn't need witnesses or security cam footage to construct what happened between Michelle Carter and Conrad Roy because they had these thousands of text messages. Despite living just 35 miles apart, Carter and Roy's relationship occurred almost entirely through text. So these are not pieces of their relationship. They're not evidence of the whole story. They are the whole story. These messages aren't missing the glances, the nods, the way he or she said it. This is all they each saw. And we have it all. An entire human relationship that happened as, and still is, undying documents. They're all online. Just a few taps deep in the world's largest ocean of documentation. And we just keep filling it up, turning more and more of what we do and see into ghosts, not just to remember, but to experience. When we instinctively watch events through our phones, it's not that we aren't living in the moment, it's that we are.
This is the moment.
Today, to be in the moment, you have to be fully in the moment. Every part of you, even the I, you have to charge, and the mind you share with others. See what's happening? We are not just getting more ghosts, we are beginning to live as ghosts, as an account, a like, a post, a view, and it's great. We're spared the humilities of confrontation, and to be an image is to be something. Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth knew this. They had photographic images of themselves printed up. To own and control and sell your own figural ghost meant that you had power. But today, being a ghost surrounded by other ghosts causes a certain kind of newfangled anxiety. In his 1985 Amusing Ourselves to Death, Neil Postman describes
need to
what
read
he
that.
calls the information
I need to read Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death. I've heard that book so many times. People have told me to read it. I need to read it.
action ratio. Now, even though this book predates the World Wide Web, it may as well have been written about it. Let me ask you a modern version of a question he asks in here. How often does something you see on social media cause you to alter your plans for the day, or to take some action you would not otherwise have taken, or provide you with insight into some problem you are required to solve?
Fuck. What? Shit. No, it's right.
When everything persists, irrelevance takes over. But the constant scroll of doom and pleasure and distraction isn't just irrelevant, is it? No, it's truly a ghost that can pass right through you. You can sit and stare for an hour and not remember a single thing you were served.
Yeah.
We don't do that because it feels good. We do it because our minds want to be unsettled. A never-ending scroll of decontextualized news and horror and comedy and family and backflips isn't some unholy modern abomination of nature. It is exactly the niche we evolved to thrive in. Oh no, my brain evolved to eat berries in a cave. No, it evolved to reach the lushness of Southeast Asia and then cross the Wallace line, not because it had to, and not because it could, but because what laid beyond was next, and we've got autoplay on. Hey, let's build a thing that floats and we could fit in it. We could call it a boat. Huh? What's that? Where will it take us? Away. We are not the universe experiencing itself. We are the universe ignoring itself. We are the universe looking for something else. In order to be here for long, we needed to not be here for long. I don't think it's the risk or the challenge that motivates us. Good stories and curiosity and adventure are the icing on the cake we really desire: unsettledness. Not knowing what's going to happen next can be exciting. Why? I think in the same way that long necks were selected in giraffes because no one was eating the way up high leaves, and in the same way that white fur was selected in polar mammals because no one was eating snow, imagination was selected in humans because no one was eating possibilities. As soft apes in the midst of climatic change, those who survived didn't wait for natural selection to provide an answer. No, they relied, as we still do today, not on evolution, but on resolution, on picturing and manipulating an analog world inside the theater of their own minds. Up here, we can imagine things that aren't hypotheticals, the distant past and future, the way things might be. We can recognize that collecting firewood now will be worth it. We can recognize that if there's no water here, we can bring it to us. The world is not our home. It's fuel for the fire up here where we really live. But because of that fire, we have made the whole world our home. Our ancestors are those hominids whose resolving never resolved. Now, sure, binge watching TV or scrolling a social media feed are pretty different than crossing the Bering Strait, but they're still unsettling, right? What's going to happen next? Each next swipe brings you something different. Like the cognitive niche we built for ourselves, it never resolves. But unlike the travails of our ancestors, there's so much less danger. We can witness and interact safely from home, like pieces of luggage being moved at light speed without moving at all. The internet is a bounty of torques and velleities, pushes that spin us around but don't move us anywhere, and wishes not strong enough to inspire action. We're not amusing ourselves to death. We're amusing ourselves to life. A longer, scarier life. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to pre-order your very own death clock. After you've answered its questions and pressed the red button, the button stays locked locked down. It cannot change. It's locked to your soul, to your life. Unless you want to give it to someone else or you made a mistake or something, in which case you can reset it by just poking this into the hole in the back. But you better pre-order now, because time is literally running out.
Oh. Let me check how much this is. It's like 80 US dollars. Okay, that's kind of expensive. But it's cool. It's a cool novelty thing. It's a cool thing. Okay. Oh. Oh my god. Your Oshi needs those $80. Not from me. No, he doesn't. He's all right on his own. He'll be fine. Wow. Oof. That's gonna be in my head for a while, isn't it? That's gonna define, like, this video is gonna define, like, my next, like, month of thought. My next month of thought, at least, is just gonna be, like, surrounding the concepts touched on in this video. Wow. It is what is it? Like, the theater of your minds is really truly where it lives. It's interesting, because, I mean, that's, like, what I come to Vsauce for. Because if all he did was say what I thought, then I didn't have to watch him. But he said everything I thought, and then was like, but think about it this way. And then I went, oh, fuck, what do you mean think about it this way? And then he just, whew, man. God, I love Vsauce. And he's got, like, links. He's got links to all the tidbits. Songs as well. Most of these are composed by Jake Chudnow, I think. Yep, yeah, all music by Jake Chudnow. You can pick up the music on vinyl. Yeah, you can do that. We've never been more back. That's so, you're so right. We used to pray for that. You're so right. Since last Vsauce video, I've been to rehab 3 times and now 18 months sober. Damn. None of the top comments are actually talking about the video. This is some of his best work. Yeah. Oh shit, that's Game Theory. Welcome back. Vsauce uploaded a montage of 22 shorts all at once. We're back to longs. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh. God, I love this man. God, I love this man. Oh. Oh, that was what I needed. Yep. That's what that was what was missing. That was what was missing in my year, in my, like, there hasn't been a Vsauce video since I debuted, like, last year. Since a while ago before that, actually. So all this time, like, Vsauce has been a ghost since I debuted. A memory in the past that I reference occasionally, but not something I'd ever truly lived in real time until today, or 10 days ago, but I didn't watch it 10 days ago. I watched it today. Holy shit. This is an absolute all-time classic. This is an all-time classic now. I think this is one of... He's outdone himself. I think this is one of the most interesting and important videos he's ever made. Honestly, yeah. So since Future of Reasoning, we've had Do Chairs Exist, Giving Away My Beard for Charity, which is just a 1 minute. It's not really a video. It's just like he's just talking about a charity, so it doesn't really count. But he's promoting something cool, right? The People Used to Look Older, Selfie Waves, and this one. So this was the last thing where I was like, this is the greatest thing he's ever done, right? The Future of Reasoning. Do Chairs Exist came out and it was really funny. I thought it was a really funny video. Not because of like the comedic value of the whole thing. It was really more educational and interesting. It was funny in the sense of like, people will look at Do Chairs Exist and think, oh, that's what philosophy majors are studying. And that to me, that was what made it funny for me. It was like I got a lot of like, oh hey, Charis Euphranor, they made a video for you. Vsauce made a video just for you. It's called Do Chairs Exist. Got to go. Another VTuber I love is doing a shower stream. Yeah, no, go. I don't care. That, I mean, like, go do that. Yeah. I'm sure that's more interesting. I'm sure that's more interesting than what I'm talking about. Go. Don't worry about me. Just go. Anyways, the new video was released specifically for you to watch on stream. Yep, that's exactly right. He did this intentionally because he knew I would watch it on stream and react to it, and he knew the Saturday that I wanted to do it was when I could stream, but I wasn't sure what I would stream. I didn't have any content to react to, and I felt lazy, and he was like, here's when we'll upload the video. Can I recommend another Vsauce video to watch on stream? You absolutely can, yeah. He's literally shying on stream, by the way. Like, what is this? Okay, like, never mind. I'm not gonna... You have your fun. Please leave. Okay, you have your fun. Go away. And then I'm gonna start... I'm gonna start blasting. Then you go away first so you don't have to hear it, okay? And then I will start... Never mind, whatever. I'm not gonna... Let's focus on the positives here. Let's... Deep breaths, Charis Euphranor. Deep breaths. Sorry. I'm kidding. Go have fun, do that, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fine. This last bit was crazy. This last bit. So the first bit was classic Vsauce. The first bit of the video was very classic, like, hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Did you know that if we represent this fact that you knew and visualize it in this way, it'd be really interesting? You go, oh, wow, that is interesting. And then he goes, now let's stretch this concept further and let's explore a related fact and visualize that. Now it puts it into perspective, isn't it? He's talking about the amount of people in the world. Then he gets into the main gist of the video, which is like the ghosts, right? And he names a few ghosts. He splits it into sections of like, here are different ways you are a ghost, different ways you are remembered in this world, your name, your nominal ghost, your whatever, what you've done, your ripple, your genetic influence, your actions and your impact on this world, etc., etc. And then it kind of goes, where does it go? Yep. The ripples of your actions, the butterfly effect, yep. He detours a bit into then like, oh, does it make it meaningful then? And he kind of like cites Derek Parfit, who's one of the people that the librarians, that my fellow librarians of Alexandria tell me to read a lot and reference a lot. So even though I have no experience, I don't really know Parfit much. I've gained like almost through osmosis a slight bit of understanding of Parfit, and that seems to check out for me. Can you watch it on stream? What if you were born in space? Yeah, we could do that later. I just want to talk about this first. Sorry. And then he talks about the digital age. That's kind of the age of documentation. That basically, up until now, information had been very scarce. Not scarce, but like it's not been very well documented. And it's really difficult, unless you're a king, to be remembered beyond your lifetime. And even if you were a king, you know, stuff just goes away and vanishes. Or it doesn't vanish, but we don't dig everything up. And even nowadays, you know, he says that doesn't happen. Or at least in slightly pre-digital age, people will have gone missing, and we'll, in the search for those people, find other people that we didn't realize were also missing. Like that, if it isn't documented well or interconnected in a community or whatever, then like we'd lose people now too. Well, maybe not now, but like now as in like a while ago. But now, like a big chunk of the world just exists online. And that's where, you know, you and I might be tempted to sort of raise our fists in the sky and go like, darn you, internet dwellers, you know, phone bad, computer bad, etc., which is, you know, it's easy to fall into that. But I think Michael gives us a really interesting perspective here, where he kind of goes like, it's not so much that we're not living life because of our phone, we're on our phones all the time. It's just that our phones and, you know, the digital age and the social media that we're all on, it's become the new, it's become this new way we live our lives. Like we live our lives through it, not in spite of it or outside of it. Like our lives are in this, like as much as it is outside of it. And that's scary, because you and I are probably used to the idea that phone bad, internet bad, but we don't really reconcile that with our use of phone and our use of internet and our use of social media. And those parts of our existence, we kind of just, we separate. We kind of ignore that. We I don't know, at least maybe not you, but for me at least, and I'm speaking about this personally, of course, right? Like, I've always tried to separate, you know, what I do online with what I do in real life, and I've always championed one over the other. I've always been like, you know, what I do in real life is way more important. Everything online is not real, etc. But obviously that's not the case. Like, I joke about it, and I if I really believed that, I wouldn't be streaming like every other day. If I really believed what I'm saying, I wouldn't be doing what I'm. It gets inconsistent with my actions, right? So, but I've never reconciled these, this paradox. I've sort of just left it open, and I've wallowed in it. So it's almost like I've asked the questions that Michael here has asked, but I never really truly ventured to answer them. And I think now I've gotten those answers. Or at least I've gotten an answer. Like, obviously it's not the answer. There's a lot of facts in this video, but there's also a good amount of interpretation and, like, you know, dare I say it, prose-like speculation he makes about existence, which is so fascinating. It's not an abomination of nature. It is exactly the niche we evolved to thrive in. We evolved to thrive in a constant moving, like, what's next? What are we doing next? Like, let's hop on to the next thing. Let's do this next task. And now social media isn't just, like, you know, a total bastardization of it. It's just the newest form of it. And it has the pros of, you are now safe. Like, rather than saying phone bad, what Michael does here is go like, here's why we're so indirectly, implicitly, one of the questions he's answering is, why are we so addicted to our phones, right? Like, why are we so addicted to the internet? Why are we so addicted to, like, thinking that, or sorry, not thinking, actually. Why are we so addicted to, like, just scrolling? It's because it is a perfect kind of like adaptation of what we had evolved as a species to do, right? It's to pursue the next thing, the next like uncertainty, the unsettledness. That's what he says at the end. Unsettledness. That is really interesting. Where does he say it?
Not knowing what's going on the cake we really desire, unsettledness.
Unsettledness. That's what we desire. We desire to be unsettled. Not like you can think of it in the sense of, oh, I'm unsettled by this thing, or this thing is unsettling, or it's like disturbing. Disturbing has got like more negative connotations, but unsettled also is in the sense that like we settle down, but then we want to get up. Like there's such a human thing about unsettling ourselves to go further. I'm interested now to think about how this reconciles with, well, what if I am a middle-aged person and I've had enough unsettling and now I want to settle down and have a family, etc., right? Like that whole ordeal, that whole notion, that whole midlife crisis, whatever that thing, that like the kind of I want to sit down and put my roots here. Like how does that reconcile with this rather adventurous, imaginative unsettledness that he proclaims that humanity, he argues for, like Michael argues, is what humanity pursues? How do we reconcile that? Ugh. In a similar manner, I've learned recently that the word business descends from an older word that means anxiousness. So in this sense, keeping yourself busy is keeping yourself anxious, e.g. unsettled. Oh. Keeping yourself busy is keeping yourself anxious. Right. Busyness, business. To do something almost. It means anxiousness. That's interesting. It all kind of like converges, isn't it? It's, oh, okay. Our imagination of like not just what exists and what's going on, but what's possible. The possibility of possibility Michael speaks of here. Right at the end. And then the clock, you know. And then he has to plug the product because he's got to plug the product. Sure, whatever. I'll let him have that because at least it's an interesting product. At least it's interesting. No one was eating possibilities.
Imagination was selected in humans because no one was eating possibilities. As soft apes in the midst of climatic change, those who survived didn't wait for natural selection to provide an answer. No, they relied, as we still do today, not on evolution, but on resolution, on picturing and manipulating an analog world inside the theater of their own minds. Up here, we can imagine things that aren't hypotheticals, the distant past and future, the way.
So he talks about a concept like this quite similarly, like the mind being capable not just of, you know, what's immediately in front of us, like processing what's in front of us, but processing what things could be, processing hypotheticals, imagining scenarios that haven't happened yet, the distant past and future, etc., that are like kind of like key to like what makes our minds, right? Like, oh, it's specifically from Old English. Business means anxiety. Interesting. That. Thank you for the factoid. Ugh. I can't help it because you know what happens when you when your hammer is everything else is a nail. Like I can't help but connect what he's saying in this video, obviously, to like how I view the world, but also to his other video he did on the future of reasoning. Specifically this last bit where it's like the mind kind of, this is what the mind has gotten good at doing, I suppose, is to imagine. And the future of reasoning was kind of like this idea that this question of how do we deal with a crisis that doesn't seem intuitively right in front of us, and it's like we kind of have to think about how our minds work in order to rethink the structures of the world, and I thought that was really interesting. Anyways. Cognitive trade-off hypothesis. This is like this is season 3, right? The trolley problem is season 2. Is the beginning of season 2. Isolation is the beginning of season 1. Yep. Okay. Sorry. I was just looking at the catalog. I'm trying to remember what Vsauce did prior to this that has kind of led to this kind of deeper exploration of like the mind. Not just psychologically, but like what it means in the bigger sense of like our lives and our existence. Well, I could just end the stream here because that was all I wanted. I just wanted to watch this video and I just wanted to like react to it. That's all I wanted. I don't actually care what happens after this, but no, I want to. Someone asked if I can react to What If You Were Born in Space. I could do that. We could do What If You Were Born in Space. That one is like, where is that one? Let me look for it. If I can find it, we can get it. Hold on, I can just do this. Space. Born in Space. There it is. That is creepy. That is a creepy thumbnail. Sorry, before we go in there, I'm scrolling back to see some of the comments I may have missed. Ari, you said something along the lines of, isn't this a bit deterministic? Saying your actions affect others going forward implies the same going backwards and so on. It would be deterministic if you are implying the same goes backwards, I think, maybe. Oh no, let me correct myself. No, that's not the case. Is it a bit deterministic? Yes. Yeah, it's not like a total. It does. I would say it does lead to a conception of agency and freedom and action that is slightly less than 100% of everything I do is what I did and it's my agency and that's all, right? Which I don't think is controversial. I don't think anyone truly believes in that radical form of freedom and agency. Most people believe in something in the middle of like, okay, you have free will, you can determine your actions, but the circumstances that you are put in, maybe they don't determine what happens to you, but they influence how you feel about things and how you act and how you react. All right, let's watch this one.
Hey, Vsauce.
Ah.
It's Michael here. How many people are in space right now? .com tells us that the answer is 6.
6? How many are here now? How many people are in space right now? 10. There's 10 people in space right now. Caleb Barron, 1,354 days in space. Matthias Moore, Thomas Marshburn, Raja Jari, Oleg Artemyev, Denis Matveev, Sergei Korsakov, Yi Guangfu, Wang Yaping, Chai Jigang. Okay. Okay, so the 1354s are probably on the same mission. 1591s are in the same mission, and the 1380s are in the same mission. Oh. Can you like click into them to see? Oh wow, you can. That's a cool website. That's a cool website. How many people are in space right now? .com. Oh. Age 37. Caleb Barron. That's cool. That's really cool. There's 10 people in space right now. There's 10.
Ever since the first person reached outer space 52 years ago, more than 500
52 years ago. It's now 64 years ago.
humans have left Earth, and they've gone as far as the moon, an impressive distance. I mean, space stations, which we use in outer space today, are way cool, but to scale, they only orbit about this far away from Earth, whereas the moon, where Apollo astronauts went, is way out here. For the last 12 years, there has been a continuous and uninterrupted presence of humans living in space. Different people at different times ever since November of 2001. But so far, all of us, every human who has ever existed, was born right here on Earth.
Yes.
Of course,
Probably died
Earth
here
is
too,
a
right?
giant collection of matter.
Has anyone
that-
died in space? Has anyone died in space? I don't think anyone's died in space yet, right? So far, pretty much everyone has been born on the moon. Sorry, born on Earth and have died on Earth. Is that correct? Has anyone died in space? Laika, but that's not a human. Yeah, that's like the dog, right? No. Soyuz 11 mission. Deaths in space. What is the Kármán line who was aboard Soyuz 11? Back in 2021, there was a race between two of the wealthiest men in the world, Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, on who could get into space first, even though the headlines read that Branson got first. What? This shit was recent. What? Oh shit. Hold on. There's like an article about this. I want to read that. Hold on. Of course it's Bezos. Well. I mean... Okay, let's see. In question.co.uk, let's see if it's a source that makes sense. Okay. We're gonna trust this, okay? We're gonna trust this. Somebody fact check this if it's wrong, okay? The distance at which one reaches space has a number of definitions. For example, the Federation Aeronautique Internationale defines it as 100 km above the Earth's surface, but the US Armed Forces describes an astronaut as a person who has ascended 80 km, 50 miles. Using this US Armed Forces definition means that yes, when Branson rose through the atmosphere to a height of 89 kilometers, he became an astronaut, but using the international definition of space, the Kármán line, it was only Bezos on his Blue Origin flight, soaring to a height of around 107 km. Oh, sorry, this was like a race between Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson on who could get into space. Whilst the boundary between the Earth's atmosphere and space is of course a blurred one, much of the international scientific community agrees on the 100 km Kármán line. Okay, so it's a US being US thing. Sure, okay, whatever. When looking to revere those who have sadly passed away, these two competing... This is not AI generated, is this? I hope not. Fuck. When looking to... Okay. These two competing distances give difficulty when answering the question how many people have died. Due to these competing measurements, the number varies from 19 to 3. Okay. World's first space station, Salyut 1. Both astronaut and cosmonaut mean the same thing, a person who has explored space, yet they both have differing word origins. Cosmo comes from the Greek word cosmos, meaning universe, while astro is from the Greek astron, meaning star. Both of these end with naut, coming from the Greek nautis, meaning to sail. So I guess you could say astronauts sail the stars, while cosmonauts sail the entire universe. In the entire university. Is that a human typo or is that an AI typo? My patience is a little thin. If it's one or the other, or if it's one of those two. Soon after the first men walked on the moon, the Soviet Union later changed focus to securing more worlds to add to their ever-growing list. More worlds firsts to add to their ever-growing list of the first dog in space, the first man in space, the first woman in space, the first satellite to enter orbit, the first human-made object to hit the moon, and the first spacewalk. The Soviet Union wished to make a livable habitat for humans in space and thus began the development of the Salyut 1 space station. 20 meters long and 4 meters wide. That is not that big. The space station was developed to test the capabilities of humans living in space as well as conduct scientific experiments. Launched April 19th, 1971, the Soyuz spacecraft, housing a crew of 3, docked and joined Salyut 1 2 months later on the 6th of June. Cosmonauts George, Vladislav, and Viktor headed off in a Soyuz rocket on the 7th of June. 22 days stay in space. Yep. During which Patsayev celebrated his 38th birthday. Oh. In the mind of the cosmonauts, June 6 should have been etched in their minds as the day that they set off to show the world what human ingenuity can achieve. However, unbeknownst to the cosmonauts, June 6 would be the last time they stepped foot on Earth alive. Oh. June 29th, the day of their return from Salyut 1, Soyuz 11 was preparing to dock from the space station when a light on the spacecraft indicating an unsecured door seal began flashing. The cosmonauts worked to clear any debris jamming the door, but after repeated attempts to seal the door, the flashing light remained. Both the ground team and the cosmonauts came to the agreement the light was malfunctioning and decided to begin their slow drift back to Earth. During its descent in the early hours of June 30th, the spacecraft orbited Earth 3 times before igniting its retro rockets to slow its decline. 168 km above the Earth, the communications between the cosmonauts and the engineers on the ground stopped. The detaching of the descent module was supposed to occur during sequential pyrotechnics, but unfortunately they all fired at once, dislodging a seal in the pressure equalization value and the cabin depressured. 2 cosmonauts, noticing the issue, worked to fix it. 2 minutes later, they sadly passed away from asphyxiation. Oh, shit. Autonomously, the capsule continued its descent. The parachutes were spotted not far from the planned landing site. Soft boost rockets ignited and the cosmonauts finally returned home. Rescuers ran to the spacecraft, opened the capsule, and discovered the bodies of them. Resuscitation efforts began, but were all in vain. On July 1st in Red Square, the fallen cosmonauts received a state funeral visited by thousands willing to pay their respects. They were later cremated and interred in the Kremlin Wall near fellow lost cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov, who passed away in the Soyuz 1 when a parachute failure meant an uncontrolled descent to the ground. Vladimir Komarov was the first human to die in spaceflight. What the hell did that beginning bit have to do with that then? Why did I have to learn about, or not learn, like I knew of it, but why did I have to relearn or like be reminded of Bezos and Branson's like race? Who gives a shit? Whatever. Okay, so there's 3 people died. Interesting. All right, let's go back to the video.
Together in space, held together by its own gravity, so technically we were all born in space. But I want to talk about outer space. What is our relation to it and within it? How suited is our biology for the larger universe we were born into?
Probably not very.
More specifically, if you were born
I don't remember this video now that I think about it.
Beyond Earth?
I've definitely watched it, but I don't think I remember what goes on in this one.
What would you look like? First things first, Where is outer space? Well, outer space happens to be about 100,000 meters above your head. At that point, the atmosphere is so thin that in order to achieve lift, an aircraft has to travel at a speed so quickly that that speed is the same as an orbital speed. An orbital speed is a speed that is so fast, even with no lift, even while falling, you don't. Because the Earth literally curves away from you as fast as you fall towards it. This is what astronauts in the International Space Station are really doing. They're falling. It's a common misconception that astronauts float around weightless in space because there is no gravity there. But there's plenty of gravity. In fact, there's pretty much the same amount of gravity operating on them that there is operating on you right now while you watch this video.
90%.
Believe it or not, if we built a tower all the way up to where the International Space Station orbits, 370,000 meters high, and you walked out onto the top of that tower, it would feel kind of like this. You would just be walking around like I'm walking right now. You wouldn't feel that much different. But the International Space Station would be whizzing by at 17,000 miles per hour. It has to, because they are falling. So to say that astronauts float around in orbit because they are experiencing zero gravity is very misleading. Really what they are feeling is zero G, where G is acceleration felt as weight. G hurts so good. Because gravity's limiting influence ensures that we develop correctly and healthily. After all, it is what we were born to thrive in. So asking what a human would look like if conceived, gestated, delivered, and raised in orbit would look like requires a discussion of weightlessness. Realistically, people building colonies on planets beyond Earth or traveling through space for long periods of time who expected new humans to be born would utilize technology that helped mimic conditions here on Earth. But until artificial gravity is perfected and can be easily implemented, it's important to understand the effect weightlessness has on our biology and other things. For instance, in a zero-G environment, hot air doesn't rise. So a candle flame is not shaped like a stretched ball of glowing gas that's drawn upward. Instead, it's just a round ball of hot gas. We are not sure we can make babies in space. The logistics of merely hugging are difficult enough. A recent invention called the two-suit might make it easier. The two-suit provides effortless intimacy in weightless environments, such as outer space or on planets with low gravity. But will it be enough to ensure that conception happens? The enzyme responsible for stopping the movement of a sperm cell's tail doesn't work very well when there is zero G. In space, sperm swim faster. One thing we know about babies inside mothers in space involves the development of the vestibular system, canals in the inner ear that use the flow of fluid to determine movement, up versus down, and balance. In a zero-G environment, the fluid in the vestibular system just floats around. It's confused, and this can lead to motion sickness, visual illusions, and disorientation. It's called space adaptation syndrome, and it affects about 50% of astronauts. Confusion about motion.
It affects half the astronauts? Not like all of them? Like, isn't that like a... What? Why only half? Because when you're in space and you're experiencing zero Gs, and your like vestibular system is like the liquid in it that's supposed to kind of determine whether or not you're balanced. It's floating around, right? What? And that should be super off-putting. Like, why is it only affect? Do half the astronauts just they don't experience that nausea or whatever? I just thought everyone would experience that. What?
Can make you vomit, car sick, seasick, zero-G sick because of survival. It's
I guess they just
believed
don't
that
get sick.
motion
I don't know.
sickness,
Maybe they've
a
adapted to it?
confusion about
Maybe.
acceleration, is similar to the effects caused by the consumption of poisonous plants, in which case vomiting can save your life. Pregnant rats taken to space give
Have we
birth
done
to
that?
babies back on Earth that struggle with directions.
Oh.
Unlike rat babies that gestated here on Earth, the ones that gestated in space have trouble righting themselves when thrown into water. They do tend to be better at processing orientations common during weightlessness, which is a good sign for humans, gestated and born and raised in space, but it's some of the only good news. Vestibular fluid isn't the only fluid to be affected by a zero-G environment.
Isn't nausea one of those funky things that affects many different people differently? It could very well be that, and I'm just assuming that it wasn't. Or I assumed that it wasn't previously.
Environment. All of your body fluids are. On Earth, gravity pulls those fluids down.
Yeah.
But in orbit, the fluid is free to evenly distribute, giving astronauts their characteristic bird legs and puffy faces.
Bird legs and puffy
Cosmetically, it's
faces.
kind of a bummer. And all of that new fluid pressure
Damn.
in your face can compromise vision. Of 27 astronauts studied after long space flights, 9 had fluid expansion around the optic nerve, 6 had eyeballs flattened in the back by fluid pressure, and 4 had bulging optic nerves. More fluid pressure in your head causes an errant message that your body must have too much fluid. So the bodies of zero-G travelers respond by producing less blood. Astronauts can lose up to 22% of their total blood volume while in space, leading to weaker, atrophied hearts. Away from Earth's protection, radiation from the sun and the rest of the universe is incredibly dangerous, and we're still not exactly sure how to best guard against it. Mice exposed to levels of radiation expected during interplanetary journeys showed signs of different brain blood flow and larger plaques of the type found in patients with Alzheimer's. Psychologically, feelings of isolation in space, thinking about just how far away you are from the rest of humanity, can affect you physically. Scientists working at the South Pole have developed compromised immune systems with fewer T cells. As for the shape of your body, fully grown astronauts in orbit, no longer pressed down by Earth's typical G-force, experience spinal expansion, sometimes growing by as much as 3% before they come back to Earth.
So you grow
A
taller.
6-foot-tall human
Oh,
can go
okay.
to space
Yep,
and
yep,
come
you
back
do.
as a 6-foot-2-inch-tall
You're 5 cm by going into space. That, you know what that smells like to me? That smells like a business opportunity. That's what it smells like.
Without
This is the
usual
Lincoln Build
and
summer we
necessary
were talking about.
stress, bones in space atrophy at a rate of about 1% per month. Given enough time, total bone mass lost can be as high as 40 to 60%. And when weightless, you don't need as much muscle strength to move around. This causes the muscles of people weightless in space to atrophy. Those that you use to fight gravity can shrink 5% per month for a total muscle mass
Real
loss
reason Katy
of
Perry
20%.
went to space.
It's all kind of scary and sad, but don't bother crying over it because without 1G to pull them down, tears don't work the same way in space. Astronaut Chris Hadfield makes excellent videos about how things happen differently in orbit. For instance, tears just pool up on your face due to surface tension.
Oh.
In space, you can
Yeah,
cry,
I think
but
I remember
as
that.
he says, the tears don't fall. We know that these problems exist for adults in space. Theoretically, they would affect developing children in space even more so.
Makes sense.
Parallels have been drawn between the way a child's skeleton would likely develop in orbit and diseases that cause weak and soft bones here on Earth. Bones that break and heal according to different forces than the typical downward ones, like rickets. It's tenable to say that without proper precautions, exercise, and care, like adult astronauts already take, children developing in space could look like this. Not because of rickets or a lack of vitamin D,
but because the usual forces and active use required for healthy bone development just wouldn't be there.
But then, is it just not healthy if we're saying like, oh, relative to a baby born on Earth, they can withstand less pressure and the bones break more easily? But wouldn't it be because their bodies are adapting to space, or adapting to the gravitational force that's being imposed on them when they're in like a space station or whatever?
Added to the other threats, imagine a body shaped like this, but with thinner legs, thin, weak muscles, a puffier face, poor eyesight, and a higher than usual proclivity to dementia later in life.
Oh.
Doesn't sound very good, does it?
No.
Remember, though, that a lot of this is speculation. Few studies have been done on the topic, and few are planned for the future. We don't even know if a healthy fetus can develop in the first place, or if conception can even occur in space.
Fair enough.
When I think about how little we know about our bodies and how our bodies might grow and develop in the larger universe beyond Earth, I like to think about plankton. These little guys live in the ocean, and they exist in staggering numbers. Many varieties are too small to even see.
But it would be harmful because the human body isn't built for those proportions to be possible, which it isn't under Earth's conditions. The human body isn't built for those proportions because we've evolved on Earth. But what I'm saying is, like, what if we, like, I don't know, maybe that makes no sense. Given a few generations of space later, would we be more space adept? If that makes, or like, you know, because, so if we were to send someone on a space mission, would you send someone who was born, imagine it's like the year like 3000, right? And we have to send people on missions somewhere else in the universe, right? Would it be better to send someone who was born and raised on Earth and their family and lineage were, or someone whose family and lineage were maybe like born and raised in space all their, like, for generations, and their bones have like adapted to... Hold on, my live stream was interrupted. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Wait. No, I was like, I'm talking in between it. That's not right. That ain't right. That ain't right at all. Hello? What's going on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What the fuck? Am I getting copy struck by Michael Vsauce Stevens? You can't do this to me. No. No, you can't do this to me. I'm pausing and talking in between it. You can't do this to me. Did my is it ended? Am I talking to anyone? Does anyone hear me? Does anyone hear me right now? Your stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. So am I still being blocked or not? Am I here? Because it said I was blocked like a moment ago. Am I still being blocked right now? Can anyone hear me? Am I alive? Am I talking to myself? Am I talking to anyone? What's going on? We hear you? I'm back? Okay. What the fuck? All right, okay. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry, Michael. I was just trying to glaze you. I was just trying to show people. I was just trying. Yeah. Okay. 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 I guess we're not doing that then. I guess we're not doing that then. I'm gonna mute this and like talk over it. I guess I'm not gonna talk over it. I'm just gonna like. Okay. What? He killed me. Michael killed me. That's not right. Am I back? Okay, now I'm back. Or am I? What the hell? I just wanted to talk about Michael Vsauce Stevens. Why did they content ID claim me? Yeah, I know it's someone else's video, but like I'm talking over it. So let me talk over it, please. I don't even earn money from YouTube. What the fuck? God damn it, man. They're so mean. They're so mean to me. They don't understand what it's like to be a small indie content creator. They don't understand. They don't understand my struggle. No one understands my struggle. Okay, okay. Anyways. What I was trying to say before I got interrupted. I don't remember what I was trying to say, actually. It was something about growing up in space. Like, if I'd grown up in space, or not, if we were to send like humans to space, and we had to pick out like the best ones for the job, would we send a human that was born and raised on Earth, and their family is like their lineage has been on Earth for a long time, or would we send someone whose past generations and family have been in space and in the outer space environment, so their bone structures are different, they're slightly, you know, they've got all the space features, but they've adapted so that so it's not like they're not the first generation of people born in space, but they were like maybe like 10 generations later, right? Like we're talking about the year 3000. Okay, like 1,000 years later we're talking. Like, would it be more beneficial to send on a space mission? Would you send the guy born on Earth? Would you send the person born on Earth, or would you send the person that was born in space? Because if you send the person who was born one generation in space, yeah, their all bodies are probably all fucked up and maybe they're not going to do such a good job, but like, you know, generations later when they've adapted to it, wouldn't they be more fit for Earth space exploration and survival? Or maybe Earth has a unique set of conditions due to its, you know, its gravity, not that there was no gravity in space, but you know, like its magnitude of gravity being the prime perfect conditions for our species or something. It might take a longer time than 1,000 years to like adapt. But then you see what I'm saying, right? Like, so then what if in like 10,000 years or something, we've perfected like the space human. Once we figure out genetic mechanical body. Yeah, I guess at that point, like, then it's not really a question of like where you were born, but more like your genetics that have and how they've been modified by centuries and millennia of growing, of your ancestors like adapting to that environment. That makes sense, doesn't it? I feel like that makes sense. I feel like that's like that stupid song. I don't know what you're talking about, Sneeze. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're referring to. No, but you see what I'm saying, right? I need to ask someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to ask people who do know. Sounds like an interesting talk to have over a Stellar stream. Are you just trying to make me play a video game that you want me to play again? Oh, I've seen this. I know this. Have I seen this? Didn't Randon play this? Randon played this, right? I'm pretty sure Randon played this. I'll add it to my wish list. I've heard it's good, so I'll add it to my like wish list. Oh, it's yeah, like I want to know. I want to know if that's like which one would be better. But then at that point I think it's like less which one would be better and more what would the perfect space human look like, you know? Like the ideal space human. Not the first generation. The first generation is not going to be ideal. The first generation is going to suck. It's going to be, you know, it's just like the first generation of anything is going to have a bunch of flaws. It's going to have a bunch of like bugs to iron out. It's going to have a bunch of kinks in the features. But over time, as more iterations come out, you know, it'll be better, right? So what happens after 100 generations of space humans? Would that space human be... What would that space human look like? Is that... What question is that? Who do I ask? Do I ask a physicist? Do I ask a biologist? Like, who do I ask this question? Who would know how to answer this question? Both? Maybe? Like an like, do I have to... Like, an astronaut? What the fuck? I'm gonna write that question down, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna write that question down. Can I message myself on Discord and like with that note? I can't. Never mind. What would the ideal result, the ideal space human look like? Someone whose lineage and generations were born and adapted to space. Okay, yeah. That's like, I need to hang on to that question because it's I need to know, but I don't know who the fuck would know. You can write notes in your people's profiles. You can do it for your own. I already wrote the question down. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. Now I need to know. Now, Michael, tell me, please, Michael, tell me. Okay, I'm not gonna risk being copy struck again. Like what just happened. I don't know what just happened. Like, is some part of my stream blocked now in the VOD, or is it like, or did they falsely detect it? I don't know what happened. Probably should ask an astrophysicist. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll see. I think I know some people. Anyways, yeah, that's enough Vsauce videos before I get copy struck. I do want to say very quickly towards the end, because I want to talk about more videos, but then the best way to do that would be for me to also click on them and watch them, but I don't know how much more I want to like risk getting nuked. But Future of Reasoning is my favorite video. I think it is the most important video he's ever made, probably. Like, important in the sense that it's very important to me and also to things I think that are important in the world. I don't know how else to put it, but it's just like the most valuable video to me. A lot of his videos are valuable in education, in an educational sense, and they're really fun and they're really enjoyable, and they also give you a lot of facts, right? That's a lot of Vsauce videos, at least when they started out, were very like fact based. They were very much like, hey, here's a fun fact about the world and the earth, and what happens if we throw this thing at this thing, what happens if that happens, and then, oh, what about this, and what are these things? But then as his videos have progressed, it's been more about exploring concepts, and I think the Future of Reasoning explores the concept of climate change, basically, from like a psychological level, sort of a psychological level. Basically, it's like, how do you make people, a sociological level as well, like how do you make people aware of a problem that is not immediate and it is not in front of them, but if they don't start working on now will eventually affect them, right? What have our minds evolved to do? Is it this or is it something else? And like, what is the future of reasoning? What's the future for our minds? You know, like, how do we overcome this great filter? And it's fascinating, but also to me super important. Like, it's fascinating in that, like, oh, I love talking about this stuff, but it's important in the sense that I think we need to talk about this stuff. He did this in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and you know, you can have your opinions on those folks, whatever. But the video itself is interesting, and the foundation is probably not the worst foundation to exist on Earth, so it's something to keep in mind, I guess. Interesting to see he still has Vsauce 1 as his banner since 2 and 3 are dead. Okay, yeah, they're dead, but like, are they dead? Like, you can still access those channels and you can still watch their content and videos and you can still enjoy it. Like, up until 10 days ago, you could have said Vsauce 1 was dead. You don't know that. Like, the last video was 2 years ago. You didn't know that Vsauce was coming back in that sense. But I always had faith in my goat. I always had faith in Michael Vsauce Stevens. God, I love this man. And this was definitely one of the most interesting videos he's ever done. All the ghosts you will be. I love the titles as well. I'm loving the titles of his videos of late. All the ghosts you will be. Selfie waves. Did people used to look older? Do chairs exist? The future of reasoning. Illusions of time. How many holes does a human have? What is the scariest thing? Oh, that's Minefield. Yep. That's like a Minefield special he did 5 years ago. What is the scariest thing? This is so interesting. I'll if you don't want me to spoil it, cover your ears for like half a second. Or like cover your ears for like, hold on. I'm gonna put up my spoiler gesture. This is my spoiler gesture for, I'm talking about what is the scariest thing video now. What is the scariest thing is asphyxiation. I think that is the scariest thing. The scariest thing is the feeling of asphyxiation. Because for some reason, it almost like bypasses the amygdala, or like the part of your brain that fears things. But like the sensation of losing the ability to breathe is like the most. It's the scariest thing. It invokes the most like fear, even in people who normally don't feel fear from things like being jump scared or whatever. So that was pretty interesting. You're finally using your toggles? I use them frequently, somewhat. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I never use that one. I never use any of these. Sorry. Anyways, he had shorts. Yeah, he did, but not on the main channel. I don't want to watch. Okay, I do want to watch shorts, but I like watching Vsauce shorts. But I love and adore Vsauce longs. Okay, I love watching longs. The longs that he makes are just because they allow more room to really dig into a concept or like an idea or just a theme. I love that. That's lovely. Okay. I don't have much to say really other than that though. I think, yeah, the video is incredible. I think it touches upon really interesting but also really important concepts. The first half of the video was like, here's a cool like conception of you who you are in the sense of like how you will be remembered as an individual, as a ghost, you know, with your different forms of ghosts, your the different forms of your impact on the world. And then the latter half kind of goes into like the heavy kind of documentation of social media right now. Oh, God, it's so cool.
Each spend an average.
Okay, maybe I should mute it now. Yep, okay. And then, I love that bit at the end. Of like, it's not that we're not living life on our phones, but now we're just now in an age where we live our lives through our phones. That's kind of what I'd gotten from it. Now I want to binge watch Vsauce. Honestly, me too. I kind of want to do that as well. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to like end the stream. Since I don't want to get copy struck now anyways, I'm going to end the stream, I think. And I'll like binge watch like a bunch of Vsauce videos because I just want to do that. But I don't want to get like copy struck. I don't want to get shot down by YouTube and by Vsauce 1. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll do that on the Discord as well. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe I will do it in the Discord since like I wanted to do it here originally. But I didn't realize the copyright nukes are headed for me right now. So I'm gonna duck and take cover. Would you ever do a watch along? You know what? I think I'm gonna do a short one like right now on the Discord. Like for longer videos or movies. I did one previously. It was for Interstellar. I watched Interstellar on my Discord. Because no way in hell could I have streamed it. But I wanted to watch it. And I wanted to make it sort of a community thing. So I guess... So then I did that on Discord. And it was like, Interstellar was really good up until the last, like, final 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And then it was really bad. And then it got really bad. But up until then, it was good. Up until then, Interstellar was really good. It didn't get really bad. I just didn't like the ending. I disliked it heavily. Anyways, as much as I would like to continue this on here, I am being threatened and lawsuits are being fired at me, I think, from every corner. I'm gonna need to talk to our team about this and see what will happen. But, I'll continue watching some... I'm gonna continue on my Vsauce binge, and I might do it on the Discord. So if you want to join me on that, you can do that. But, you know, if you're watching this from the future, then forget it that I said that. Have fun, everyone, and I'll see everyone somewhat in the future. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. In the distant future. Distant future? Probably tomorrow. We'll stream like a video game tomorrow. I'll play a video game tomorrow. Thank you for joining me on the stream, etc, etc. I would love to continue the stream, but I can't because I feel like I'm gonna get shot. So I'm gonna like not do this on YouTube now. I didn't know, whatever. But thank you anyways for anyone who joined me in my watch along of the new Vsauce video and also me reacting to it and talking about it. That's all.